Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Charles Oturi Kenothia. Welcome to the fifth episode in a series of talks Ask Us About Rock Bottom, based on my book by the same name, now available on Amazon Kindle. Episode 5 is titled Islam, Addiction, the Police, and Treatment, Salim's case. Most of us rarely associate the people of the Muslim faith with addiction. It is well known that alcohol is strictly prohibited by the faith, and alcoholism is rarely a problem in the Islamic countries. What does the Quran have to say about other addictive substances? The Islamic scriptures mention only what they call camel, and this refers to wine made from grapes that is. Drugs such as khat, marijuana, cocaine, and heroin occupy a gray area in Islamic teachings. And that is why, for instance, we hear Afghanistan and Pakistan are the greatest producers of poppy or opium from which heroin is produced, and this despite the fact that they are some of the most fundamental Muslim believers in the world. Abuse of legal medication such as cough syrup and antipsychotics is now a major problem in many Muslim societies. Now, in our case today, we have a young policeman aged 20 when he joined the police force called Salim. When he was still in school, he became a heavy user of khat, commonly called here in Kenya Mira. And this is a socially accepted drug used by people, especially in the northeastern province of Kenya. And it's a legal drug in Kenya, although in Europe and parts of Asia it has been made illegal. He graduated to the use of cannabis as a drug of choice, and by the time he graduated from the police, he was a committed user of smoker of cannabis. Unfortunately for Salim, he was posted immediately to the troubled areas of the northeastern province of Kenya. Now, these are especially hard areas for policemen because there are two groups of gunmen who are roaming those arid areas. You have terrorists of the Al Shabaab and you have bandits who are out there to steal cattle. Both these people have been known to kill policemen, and in the first few months of Salim's operation as a policeman there, he lost dozens of colleagues, in one instance being one of two survivors who survived an ambush. And because of this trauma, he got into heavier and heavier use of drugs and eventually found himself forced into a rehab. Unfortunately, the rehab the government took Salim to is one of those rehabs we mentioned in our second episode, where the government has a tendency of taking the discipline forces and where the standards are extremely low and the charges are extremely high. The professional care here is lacking, and by the time he left the rehab, he cannot say to have been helped at all. Taken back to the field, he continued battling both bandits and the Islamic jihadists, and continued seeing terrible things that happened. So finally, he actually found himself in serious psychotic problem. He was sent back to the rehab, but when I met him, he was apparently not a case for the rehab. He had degenerated to a total psychotic case and showed symptoms of hallucination. He was delusional, meaning that this could have been a case of schizophrenia. But the people in the rehab insisted on keeping him there, keeping him under medication and sedation because of the kind of money that they were making from him. Now, what is the problem with the policemen who are serving in such places? They do not have the requisite equipment. They do not have the requisite mental health attention. For instance, Salim would say that the kind of guns that they were getting in the field, they were inferior to what the bandits were using. So many of the time they would have to run away from a firefight because they find themselves outgunned. They also said that the vehicles that they used to patrol with were inadequate. Somebody somewhere had been supposed to buy armored vehicles for the Kenya police working in such areas, but what they were getting were ordinary Land Rovers and Land Cruisers, and this became death traps in case of going over landmines, and there were very many cases of death due to such. Now somebody made millions by providing substandard equipment, and in the process has been sacrificing our policemen. So what do we say about men like Salim? It is time that the police took care of its officers' mental health. This is proving to be so much of a problem. We saw it last time in the prisons. We are now seeing it in the regular police, and we are going to see it later on with the Kenya Defence Forces, where I would have expected this not to happen. And the solution is make mental health an issue, a priority, not only in the disciplined forces, but also in the whole country. Salim's case is unfortunate, and the most unfortunate thing is that he's still a very young man. Many of the policemen in the northern frontier districts, as it used to be called in the colonial period, believe that they have been sent there as a punishment, as a disciplinary measure, because nobody wants to go there. So the morale is low, and the situation is as hopeless as it was when the operation started. We keep on hearing in the news that even after very senior government officers have visited the area, the gangsters who move with impunity will attack even when ministers or even the president is in the locality, showing that they no longer fear the law. What is to be done? I don't know what is to be done about the banditry. All I know is that the men who have the honors of dealing with them need to have their mental health issues sorted out. So those who are listening to me, please let us push our government to deal kindly and give these young men what they need in terms of mental support. Thank you for listening to me. Let us meet for the next episode next time. And remember to subscribe, like, and share. Let us come together and fight our good fight against addiction. Thank you very much.